Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. So today we're going to do a pick a card reading looking at your career and finances over the next 6 months. So we're going to look at change, like what is changing here, and just in general what spirit wants you to know, what guidance there is for you at this time. So we have 3 groups: the base chakra, the third eye chakra, and the solar plexus chakra. So choose whichever one you feel drawn to. There might be more than one, and we'll get into it. Hello, group 1, and welcome to your reading. So the base chakra, it really relates to our sense of community, our sense of belonging, our sense of being grounded through our body, through our sense of nourishment from the world around us. And it also relates to our family, our ancestry, our bloodlines, having children, having pets, how we care and nurture for ourselves and others. So in terms of your career and finances over the next 6 months, what is changing? I feel that you're healing something really deeply that you inherited from an ancestor or from your ancestry in general. Wow. So this is like a really deep energy, group 1. Like this is going to be a really deep reading, okay? This is not just like a surface level, what's happening with your money? Like this is so deep, okay? The energy I'm feeling is like, it's part of like your soul's intention for your entire lifetime, what you're going through right now. So basically what I'm seeing is that you inherited some kind of form of showing up in the world that was really from your family and from your ancestry. And this way of showing up is necessarily coming to an end at the moment as you are healing something really deeply. You're healing something and therefore there's a change happening. Like I see deep change happening in your career over the next 6 months, like the way that you make money, the way you show up in your career. It could be a change of career, even like a radical shift in your career, or the way that you show up being really, really different because you are healing something really deep and you are clearing the karma from your ancestry. So the energy that I'm getting is something around service, like servitude, and even like your ancestors being involved in some kind of like servitude, slavery, or imprisonment imprints. So it feels really deep, like I said. It feels really, really deep. So there's something here about the way that you've shown up, in the way that you've made money, in the way that you have been showing up in your career that has been like super connected to your ancestors. It was something about the trauma that they went through. It's like carried on in your cells and your bloodline. And you're clearing it, and you're clearing almost like their story in order to create your own story. So this is so like really huge, and it feels really connected to your intention for your lifetime. One of the core intentions that you've had for your lifetime has been about freedom, freeing yourself and experiencing freedom in all ways. Oh man, it feels so deep. Like there's a lot of emotions connected to this reading. It's very emotional for me to even tune into it. And it's really interesting because one of my ancestors actually visited me today, and she doesn't visit that often actually, but feels very synchronistic with this reading because she was visiting me today about this very, very topic. The synchronicity. Wow. So some of you may know already, but my great-grandmother was an Aboriginal woman who was part of the stolen generation in Australia. And what happened to her has lived, like, it's part of what I'm here to heal, basically, in my own ancestral imprint. So she comes to me sometimes and we talk, and she's very beautiful, loving, kind of like a grandma energy. She gets me to call her grandma. So basically, what she went through in her life was very, very sad. So the stolen generation in Australia was an initiative where the government basically took children away from their families, Indigenous children, away from their families, and they sent them to institutions to be raised. And then it was like an attempt to assimilate Indigenous children into white society, basically. So after she had been taken away from her family, she was never able to reconnect with them again. And she basically got sent away to work on a farm, on my great-grandfather's farm. And basically, somehow it turned out that she ended up marrying him, I'm pretty sure. Sorry, it's really hard to talk about this for some reason. It feels really intense. I don't know why I have so much resistance to sharing about it. It feels really intense. So, oh my God. I feel like I'm doing some kind of emotional alchemy right now for this collective group. And I'm like, there's a lot of me that just wants to run away and not face this. So, so she lived a life of servitude and what I feel like was more like modern day slavery, actually. In her own experience, she's shown it to me as that. So she worked as basically the maid, like the servant on the farm. And then my great-grandfather's wife passed away, so he married her and they ended up having children together and they stayed together for the rest of their life. So she never reconnected with her family, and yeah, she lived this life of being of service and giving and basically being like a modern day servant. Well, it wasn't that modern. It was, yeah, she was a servant. So her energy was with me today, and it was actually showing me about how this energy lives in myself and how I have to heal it and clear it and alchemize it. And I'm feeling like so strongly and clearly the same energy within you, group one, is that you are here to clear something that your ancestors went through. And this could be many, many generations back, or it could be something that, you know, was more recent. But there's something here in your energy field around being of service in a way that doesn't make you feel free. Being of service in a way of like having your will controlled by something else, or feeling like a slave to the system, or you have to do something to make money that you don't want to do. This could even be ancestry of like prostitution of some kind. There's something about like having the will being taken away and having to do something in order to survive, in order to make money, or because you just didn't have a choice for whatever reason. There wasn't the choice to have something else. There wasn't the choice to do something differently. And this is living inside of your DNA, like it's living inside of your cells, inside of your DNA. And I really feel my great-grandmother here, like shining love and light over us right now as this is coming into the awareness, into the field of the awareness, because she's showing us how we are free, how actually we are free. Like we are able to choose differently. We are able to create something different from this life. We are able to break free from this sense of being imprisoned by circumstance. And we're able to imagine and create something different. So this feels like this ancestral pattern and lineage and karma that you've inherited, like through the bloodline. It could even be a bloodline on either side. Actually, it could be in both bloodlines. This feels really heavy, group one. Like it feels really heavy. And it has 100% been impacting your finances and your ability to make money. Because what I'm being shown is that you need to align your career to feeling 100% free. And it doesn't matter how long it takes for this to happen. It doesn't matter, you know, the process that it might be in order to get there. That is the end goal. That is the end state. That is your soul's intention for your lifetime, is to align your career, the way that you make money, your finances, with the feeling of being free. Not the feeling of being forced into something, or like you have no choice, or you just have to do this to make money and this kind of thing. Because all I am seeing for that, when you operate from that place, it's creating poverty. When you act and operate from this place of, I just have to do this thing in order to make money, I don't have a choice, I just have to do this to make money, it creates poverty. It doesn't get you out of poverty, it actually creates poverty. So I know poverty is like kind of an intense word, and some of you might resonate and some of you might not. However, I feel poverty in your bloodline as well. It could even be actually, now I'm tuning in as well, it could be a sense of some of your ancestors went through experiences of starvation, of like really, really, really genuinely not having enough resources, not having enough food, not having enough money, not having enough support in ways they really basic needs. Like their basic needs were not met for long periods of time. So, wow. So this ancestral imprint is living within you. Like it's living within you. And like I was feeling when I was tuning in at the beginning, remember, I was like, this is really hard for me to stay with. And I'm a pretty intense emotional feeler. You know, it's part of my gifts is that I feel things really deeply and I have a like strong emotional intelligence. But even I found it really hard to stay with that. And it didn't feel like it was just my energy. It feels like I was alchemizing something for the collective just then. And there was every part of me just wanted to run away, but I kept getting all of these synchronicities on my phone, like all of these synchronistic numbers, and then on the camera as well. And I was like, oh, okay, I just have to keep doing this. Like, so there's a part of you that wants to run away. There's a part of you that doesn't want to face this. And it's because it feels so deep. It's because it is so deep. It's because it's so painful to really go there. But I'm just seeing such a huge payoff on the other side of confronting this emotional imprint. It's like some kind of an emotional imprint around not being free, around some kind of slavery, imprisonment, starvation, having to do things like prostitution, right? Having to do things that you don't actually want to do, but you want the money. Because think about it, would anyone be a prostitute if they didn't make money from it? No, that's why it exists. It's a transactional thing. So this feels like about the will, about using the will or having the will kind of taken away due to money, due to finances, or due to some kind of sense of survival or some kind of sense of oppression, persecution, just like what my great-grandmother went through. She was a child. She didn't have a choice. Her family didn't have a choice. You know, the children were taken away forcefully, with force, with violence. What choice do they have? And then the records were completely sealed and destroyed in a lot of cases so that the children couldn't go back and find their family again once they grew up. And then when she was living on the farm, my great-grandmother's like, what choice did she have? She was already enlisted to work there. Did she have the choice in marrying my great-grandfather? I always tune into that and I feel like no. I feel like she didn't actually choose that. I feel like it was more like something she felt like she had to do. And there's just like, there was a lot of power imbalances. Like he had the money. She was extremely poor, you know, basically surviving through working for him. He was many, many years older than her, like a lot of years older than her. She was a lot of years younger than him. So there's a lot there. And her energy is so powerful. Like she is seriously one of the strongest spirits that I've tuned into. Like she is so powerful. She's so strong. And she's showing me your power and your strength as well, and how you have the freedom now to choose differently. But when we live with ancestral imprints within us, it feels really compelling. It feels really compelling. It feels really true. It feels like this is reality, like that we are facing the same conditions of imprisonment, of poverty, of not having freedom, of having things like sort of thrust upon us. And in certain ways that will be true. But the difference is that what I'm being shown is that you are able to heal this. You are able to clear this karma and you are able to live a different life. And this is what your ancestors want for you. They don't want you to continue down the same path, basically, of what they went through. But it's like the karma, the way that the karma plays out, it can feel like that's the only option, or it can feel like it's happening outside of your control. Okay, so that was really intense. You might want to do some journaling or like really do some self-reflection about what did your ancestors go through? What do you know about? And if there might be things you don't know about that you kind of can pick up intuitively, because I feel like you're a really intuitive group. There might be things you can know about, like you already heard the story. Like I grew up hearing the story of my great-grandmother. And it wasn't until actually this year that I really connected with her and I really started to process the karma of what she went through and how it was living in my own body. And we became really close. So there's a time for everything. There's a perfect time for everything. But you might already have stories inside of your own head that have been told to you, the stories of your ancestors. What did your ancestors go through? The ones you know about. But there might also be ones that you don't know about that would also carry this energy, or carry a different form of this energy that might be important for you to get in touch with. You can do this intuitively through meditation, through journaling, through prayer, asking for spirit to show you, through pulling your own cards. But there are stories. I'm seeing stories from your ancestors. They want you to know their story. They want you to know their story. That's why it felt important for me to share my great-grandmother's story, even though I felt really emotional about doing it, actually. But it felt really important, and it felt like there was a reason for it. And now I'm seeing the reason is because you need to know the story of your ancestors, or at least one of them. There's at least one story that really wants to come through that's impacting what they went through is impacting your current finances and career. And the way that you show up in your career is based on some kind of ancestral karma that you are here to clear and heal. And in clearing and healing this ancestral karma, you are going to reach like new heights of your career and new heights of your abundance. Like there's something about this that's really blocking your abundance and the flow of your money. I'm really just seeing the bloodlines and how it's blocking your money right now. It could also be that it's something that you picked up, you inherited from your family of origin, like the family you were born into, as in maybe they really wanted you to have a certain kind of career, but that isn't who you genuinely are. That's not the truth of your soul. That's not the truth of what you are here to express in this lifetime. And it might be about releasing that, releasing their expectations of you. Or some form of rebellion I'm seeing as well. It's like freedom and rebellion is the answer. It's like rebelling against the conditions that maybe were placed upon you. Like they really wanted you to be a doctor, right? But you didn't want that. So it's about freeing yourself and going in the direction of your soul so that you can actually thrive and also thrive within abundance. Letting go of expectations that they might have on you. But it's also about some kind of a role that you played in your family system, in your family of origin. Were you an overgiver? Did you always self-sacrifice for them? Did you always put their needs above your own? Did you always have to respect your elders and not be able to think for yourself? There might be even voices from your family. I'm seeing a lot through the ears for you. Voices from your family or from your ancestors that are living inside of you. Wow. And it's about hearing your own voice. Hearing your own voice. You might actually have things clearing out through the ears because it's clearing out voices from others. And this reading itself, I'm feeling an energy healing coming through this reading because I felt so much alchemizing as I was speaking. It was like really intense to stay with. So I'm kind of feeling like I'm pulling things out of your ears and I'm bringing your awareness to what stories you need to know about, but I'm also bringing your awareness back to your own inner voice. Like, what is it that you are saying? What is it that you are desiring? What is it that you want? Because your ancestors are showing me, they're like, you have the opportunity to do this. You have the freedom to do this in your own way, and you can achieve it in a way that they could not. And this is very, very sacred and special. So Spirit's saying, what role did you play in your family of origin? What role did you play? How did you fit in? How did you get your needs met? How were you loved? Were you loved for being yourself, or were you loved for people pleasing? Were you loved for overgiving? Were you loved for self-sacrificing? Were you loved for putting others' needs before your own? And again, like this reading is deep. You're going to want to reflect on this really deeply and think about it. And think about, how is this repeating and playing out in your career? Because what we go through, like in our family of origin, until it is 100% healed, we will repeat it through our career. We will repeat it through our workplace, or the way that we show up and structure our own business. If you're your own boss, it will still find a way to repeat. But if you have a boss, what family member do they represent? Do they represent a mother, a father, a brother, a sister? It's usually someone who had the most authority in the family. And what kind of relationship did you have with them? Were you afraid of your dad? Do you always have bosses who are intimidating or aggressive? It will play out like magic. Whichever is the core wound is sort of the thing that will continue to repeat. Or, for example, did your family of origin devalue you and not see you for your worth? Do you find that in the workplace you are devalued and not seen for your worth? Well, there's the root. There's the root of it. You got the root chakra. It's like the root of these issues is within the bloodlines, and it's within the family of origin you were born into. It's the ancestors, but it's also the family of origin, like the mother, the father, the siblings, or the lack of siblings. Those kinds of close relationships, like what role did you play? And really reflect on this, and reflect on right now, currently, in the way that you're showing up for work, for career, for making money. How is that playing out the same way? Their beliefs about you. Because I'm seeing a lot to do with the ears, and how it's like other people's beliefs about you, other people's stories about you is clouding your own story. Like maybe they thought you weren't capable, or you didn't take enough responsibility, or they devalued you for being different or dreamy or something like this. And maybe this is playing out, but it's Spirit saying something about clearing out the voices from others and recognize your own brilliance. Like, you are brilliant, you are talented, you're incredible. And you can heal from whatever it is that you've gone through. You can heal from whatever ancestral karma and imprints that you took on in this life. You can 100% heal from this. You definitely can. So there's something about the role that you had in your family system. You are playing out that same role in the workplace, in your career, in the way that you make money. You're playing out that same role. Or you're playing out the same dynamic with people around you. Are they controlling people in your job? Were you controlled as a child? Are they devaluing people in your job? Well, were you devalued as a child? Are there aggressive people in your job? Well, was there a lot of fear and intimidation from the authority figures in your life as a child? Were you ignored and neglected? Well, do you feel ignored and neglected now in your job? Do you feel like people don't see you, and were you not seen as a child? Do you see what I'm saying? It's like Spirit's asking you to really go to the root of things. That's why I said at the beginning of your reading, I was like, this is going to be deep, okay? This is not like, oh, here's some money and that. No, this is like the deepest threads of our life, of our core self, of our core sense of expression and identity and our soul's intention for our lifetime. That is what you're working with right now. And that is what's going to bring the greatest freedom and the greatest shifts and change in your career, because I feel change is ready. Like, you are ready for change and change is ready for you. You are ready for change and change is ready for you. But the block is something very, very deep. Okay, this is subconscious, deeply held subconscious energies, subconscious beliefs that you might have inherited from your family. Subconscious roles that you play out without realizing you're doing it. Subconsciously, you have these points of attraction to, say, a really toxic boss that keeps on playing out and keeps on playing out and keeps on playing out. Right? Or you don't feel you get the recognition. You've worked at a job for 10 years, but you still haven't got the promotion you want. And it's like, where's the recognition? Right? Spirit's saying it's inside of you first. This point of attraction is inside of you first. And it can be healed and it can be cleared and it can be overcome. But it also takes acknowledging, like, where has this come from? Where have you come from? That's another journal prompt. Where have you come from? Your family of origin, your ancestries, bloodline from the mother, bloodline from the father. What have you inherited? What are you working with in this lifetime? Because you chose it very specifically for a reason. You chose it for a reason and it's perfect. What you chose was perfect for your soul's intention in this lifetime. For example, maybe your soul's intention was about freedom and you incarnated into a bloodline, into a family bloodline ancestry that had a lot of difficulties with freedom, that had a lot of experiences of imprisonment, of having their rights taken away, of having their will forced by someone in authority. Well, then that trauma lives within you, and it's the perfect alchemy work to heal and to overcome and to self-actualize. So we never have to feel completely overwhelmed by what we have incarnated into, because it's always the perfect mix for what we are here to heal and how we are here to self-actualize and how we are here to self-express from the deepest sort of qualities of who we are. It's always perfect. So you're changing the way that you show up in the world, Group 1. This is a really, really positive thing. I know I've gone really deep into the emotional alchemy aspect of what you're going through right now, but that's because you're so close to a breakthrough. You're so close to a shift that is powerful and that is like permanent, like a permanent shift where you change the way that you show up, and that changes all of your life. Like, you start showing up with so much more authenticity. This is what I'm seeing. Over the next 6 months, you start to become hyper aware. Like, it becomes crystal clear to you in such perfect focus. Things that were blurry and out of focus suddenly come into focus, and you start to see, oh my gosh, my ancestors went through this. Or I played this role in my family and now I'm playing it out with my boss, with my workplace, with my business. And you start to become aware of it. And awareness is so powerful. Like, awareness is how we change. Awareness is how we start to shift. And through that awareness, things start to shift. You start to become aware so that you can change the way you show up, so that you can make those adjustments that are necessary. And with the subconscious work, it is slower. It's not as fast. There will eventually, I see a time come where you have a quantum leap in the next 6 months, but there might be a period of time where it's a little bit slower as you're making these adjustments and adjustments and adjustments. But the more you take those steps towards health and healing, and you walk away from those old patterns that have not been serving you, and you start to free yourself from your ancestral karma, I'm just seeing more and more abundance and opportunities coming in, and you shining and shining and shining your light into the world with so much passion. And like, I'm seeing this end of hesitation, this end of feeling like things aren't quite manifesting right. Because I see you sitting in this karmic energy right now from your ancestry, and you're wondering why things aren't working out for you. You're like, why isn't this working for me? Why am I putting so much effort in and nothing's happening? It's that kind of energy. And Spirit's saying, well, because of this. And if you look at it from the highest perspective of how Spirit sees you, of how Spirit sees all of these karmic entanglements that we sort of end up with, it would make perfect sense to you. And you would be like, well, of course. Well, of course. How would I think it would be any different when I've got all these things playing out? But you have the power to change that. You really do. And working with the subconscious mind, it can feel kind of intense. Okay. I've been studying the subconscious mind quite intensely for like 3 years. And I have made huge progress, but it is still something that is really, really curious to work with. It's curious because we have to be constantly inquiring and looking. And that's why I was saying journaling, journal prompts, prayers, working with the tapes that I've made on the Light Resonance store, like the sleep tape, or any of the tapes you can actually listen to as a sleep tape. Because when we listen to light language, number one, it helps to clear our subconscious blocks and align us with our true self. Always, 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 it would do that. But number two, when we listen to light language or affirmation tapes while we sleep, it actually goes straight into the subconscious mind and helps to transform us even faster. So I would recommend them. But I'm just seeing the more you stay with this process of journaling, of self-inquiry, of doing this kind of inner work to become aware. It's about awareness so that you can change. Awareness is power, because then you have the power to change. It's like you become aware, oh my gosh, I've been acting this way in my job. I've been allowing myself to be devalued, or I've been allowing myself to be neglected or overlooked or unseen or unheard or whatever. And then you start to shift. And as you heal it and as you become aware of it, then the world around you will change. It has to. So either people in your workplace or your job or your business will start to treat differently, or you will naturally vibrate away from that and vibrate in like a new experience, like attract in a new experience from your new vibration. That's why I'm saying change is here. And it's about you really getting your needs met in ways that you have not been getting your needs met. I'm seeing you like gasping for air because you haven't been getting your needs met in your job, in your work, and you've been hitting so much resistance because the way you've been operating cannot fulfill you. It has to change. And that might look like changing careers, like I said, or changing the way you show up in your career, or changing the way you show up. You know, this could be about making a big change and realizing that what you were doing wasn't really self-honoring, or wasn't really the truest expression of you. Maybe you were making sacrifices. Maybe you were silencing yourself or dimming your light subconsciously. But I just see, all of this ready to change. It's like it's ready for you. You just have to take those actions and bring in that awareness, and then boom, things will change, things will shift. And this new timeline, you are meant to be abundant, Group 1. You are meant to have abundance available to you, and you're meant to feel very, very free. Very, very free in the way that you make money and the way that you show up in the world with your career, with your job, with your work. And the reason is because as you experience greater freedom, you're also healing your ancestors. You're also healing your ancestors. Like you are genuinely healing them as well as yourself. And that's part of, what you're here to do. I feel your soul is a karma clearer. You're a clearer. You can clear and alchemize. You can stay with things in ways that most people really, really can't. So I'm getting another message to look into your father's bloodline. Look into your father's bloodline, okay? Look into both. They're both relevant, but there's something there for you in your father's bloodline. And you might have to look back. You might have to look through your third eye. It might not come to you straight away. Or you might be like, wait, I remember I was told a story about an ancestor. Or look at the way that your father has shown up in the world. Maybe this is what it's talking about as well. But I'm just seeing something about the father and the father's bloodline, the lineage through your father's bloodline. Maybe look at the way your father's shown up for work. Was he a workaholic? Did he overgive? Was he always providing for everyone but not meeting his own needs? How have you taken that on, for example? So there's a lot here to work with. But your abundance is your birthright. Like, I really see this as part of how you're going to feel free in this lifetime and self-actualize is through abundance. You're meant to feel really, really free, group one. Really free. You're meant to feel so free and not have any kind of icky cords that you feel you have to just give into because they're your boss or this is your job and you just have to do it. And that's not how you're meant to operate. And operating like that will actually block your abundance long term. Just like I said at the beginning, it's like there might be things you feel like you have to do in order to not be in poverty or lack. But if you've come from that sense of force and have to, and I just have to, and I have to force myself, and I hate it, but I just have to do it, you're going to block your abundance. But if you can heal and start to become aware of where does that come from inside of you? Whose story is that? Is that your story or is that someone else's? Is that your voice or is that someone else's? And then start to be like, whoa, I see you awakening and like becoming that inner observer where you have so much awareness and you start to be like, you know what? I can show up differently. And your freedom, like the vibration of you, when you are in your freedom, in your element, you are so magnetic. You are so abundant. Abundance cannot help but come to you when you're in that frequency, when you're in that frequency of love and freedom and the enjoyment of life. So there's so much positive energy here for you, group one, amidst all of this sort of karmic lineage that you have incarnated into. There is so much available for you. So much freedom, so much abundance, and so much fulfillment from your job and from your role here in the world. So I see really getting clear about what's your voice and what are other people's voices. And recognizing whose story might you be playing out. And how can you rewrite that so that it's your story? Honoring your ancestors as giving you kind of like the fuel that you need, the rocket fuel that you need to get somewhere. Because it's the alchemy, like we burn through fuel. We burn through this emotional karma, this debris that we take on. We burn through it as we self-actualize, as we ascend. It gives us like rocket fuel. We don't have to look at it as like a burden or something that's wrong with us. It's actually perfect the way that it is. It's giving us the exact rocket fuel that we need to get from one destination to another. So it's perfect. It's the perfect alchemy, the juicy alchemy work. And it's serving you as you are serving them. All right, group one, I'm sending you so much love. I really would consider checking out my store and the sleep tapes or other light language tapes you feel called to, because I feel like this will really boost and help you as you're working on such a deep subconscious level, such an inner emotional alchemy work. Like this is really intense. Like I've got 2 DNA tapes on my shop at the moment. One of them's a DNA activation. The other one's like a Lemurian light language activation. They both would really serve you. And then I also have a light language sleep tape that you might resonate with as well. All right, I'm sending you so much love on your path and take really good care of yourself, okay? Bye. Hello, group 2. So you chose the third eye chakra. So I'm feeling discernment for your group. There's something that you are going to be discerning soon, and it's going to drastically change your life over the next 6 months. It's going to drastically change your finances and your career, the way you show up in your career, or even what you see as being your career, maybe. There's something about the way you see yourself changing, the way you see what is available to you changing, the way you see your role, how you are meant to show up. What is your destiny? What is your ultimate offering to the world through your work, through your career, through your sense of self? So I feel like this might have already been coming into your awareness because I already feel it in your energy field, or it might be something that you're still on the fence about. I'm seeing something about being on the fence, like you feel this thing, but then you go back, you flip-flop. Yes, no, I don't know. Flip-flopping between something that is true and something that is actually an illusion that you aren't quite seeing properly. And this is some kind of gift of discernment. This could even be about seeing a person clearly and realizing that they are actually not who you thought they were. And kind of, because when we see someone clearly, we actually free ourselves and we free whatever energy dynamic that we were engaging with them that was not serving us, that was actually harming us, if this person is sort of deceptive. I'm seeing like someone might be trying to convince you of something. Okay, could be a family member even. Someone trying to convince you of something, or like someone in your workplace, or they're trying to convince you to be a certain way, to do something in a certain way, but your intuition keeps pulling you onto a different path. But then you keep flip-flopping back and be like, well, maybe they're right. I keep hearing maybe they're right. Maybe this person's right. Maybe they're right. Maybe my parents are right. Maybe this thing's right. but it's actually spirit saying you are right. Like what you feel intuitively is what is right. So there's something here as well about trusting yourself, like trusting yourself so that you don't outsource your intuition to others. And there's something here, a really strong energy of coming back to your own intuition and discerning between what is toxic and what is true. There's something in your life right now that it has become toxic or it always was. Either one. It has somehow become toxic or it always was. And you aren't quite seeing it clearly, or you're having an awakening about it at the moment. Like maybe there's also some grief or some disappointment here because maybe, for example, it's a job and at first, your boss at your new job was like so amazing and they were love bombing you and they seemed like the perfect boss. But then over time, they became more and more controlling and manipulative and toxic, and you having this thing of like, well, am I the one that's right or are they right? Like I'm seeing this thing. Am I right or are they right? Am I right or are they right? Spirit saying you're right. What you feel is right. What you feel is right. So let's see like this flip-flopping energy between what you think and what is true. Like let's see what those two things are. I'm going to pull some cards for you. So let's see. I want to just get it laid out so I can. Okay, look. So this is the thing this is the toxic thing, right? Someone else trying to have authority over your intuition. That's what's toxic. And this is what is true. Shadow. Okay. And this is what you're realizing. You're like, maybe I could achieve something. Maybe I am right. Maybe what I feel like is right. Because the shadow is the moon. So this deck has different names. So this is the Emperor and this is the moon. So the moon card talks about things that are hidden and they're usually existing kind of beneath the surface in our subconscious. And our subconscious always knows what truth is. But we can get really caught up in the illusions sort of in this realm, in the realm of being awake. But then our dreams can often show us things that are true. So there's something here about your actual potential is so much bigger than you're realizing. That's one of the messages I'm getting. But the thing that's toxic in your life right now is something having authority over you. It could be a person. I'm feeling like it could be a really controlling person, and they're trying to tell you how you should live your life or what choices you should make. Or maybe, for example, you brought something up with your mom or your dad and you're saying, I really feel like I really want to leave this job. I'm really unhappy at this job. And then they're like trying to be authoritarian with you and saying, no, don't do that. How can you do that? You need money, and kind of putting that fear in your heart. When actually the right thing to do would be to leave that job because you're intuitively knowing that there will be something on the other side waiting in the shadows to meet you there. Wow. So this is really, really, really powerful group 2 because there's something here when you are going to have this breakthrough. Like you are an intuitive person. Getting tongue-tied. You are an intuitive person. Like this deception, this person trying to have authority over your intuition, it can't stay with you for long. It won't stay with you for long. Your intuition is too strong. And what I'm seeing is that you finally are brave enough to choose yourself. You're finally brave enough to choose something that is your own intuition, that goes against what this person has said. Maybe someone's even become emotionally manipulative and is trying to tell you, like, if you leave this job, you're self-sabotaging, or if you make this change or decide on this decision, you're self-sabotaging. And then you might get in your head and think, oh, but I really don't want to self-sabotage. I don't want to do the wrong thing, But it's actually, flip it on its head. It's actually listening to this person is self-sabotage. Listening to this external authority, trying to have authority over your intuition, that's what's self-sabotaging you. And choosing what you want, choosing your intuition, choosing what you feel and know to be true, it's going to reward you greatly. Like shadows, there's something here hidden. It's like hiding. It's in the shadows still. It's the moon. It's like you can't see it yet. But once you choose your intuition, once you choose what is right for you and you let go of this mental manipulation, emotional manipulation from this external person or thing, but it feels kind of like a person. Once you choose your intuition, you're going to have like a massive reward. Like I'm seeing a huge amount of money. Like, for example, this is what I'm getting. It's kind of like there's someone who has authority over you. Like I said, it could be parents trying to tell you not to leave something because they're like, well, you need money, or even though your intuition is telling you to do it. Or it could be someone actually being quite deceptive and quite emotionally manipulative and trying to really get inside your head and them telling you what they think is the truth, is what you should do, and what you want to do is self-sabotage. That's what I'm seeing. It's like there's something about they're trying to get in your head to tell you like, oh, you're self-sabotaging, you're doing the wrong thing, you're really you're not standing in your power. but it's actually the inverse. It's like the inverted. Actually, you doing this thing is your power, and following them is self-sabotage, even though they're telling you the opposite thing. Wow. So this is like some kind of mental trickery as well. This is like a maze, group 2. Somehow you've gotten yourself entangled with a person, or it could be, like I said, family ties or some kind of workplace ties that is like really doing your head in and making you feel really confused, and like you can't see the truth. You're like, well, I don't know which way is up, and you're not trusting yourself. You're not trusting yourself to make the right decision. But I'm just seeing, as soon as you cut ties with this thing, this person's expectations or their manipulation or their voice in your head telling you you're self-sabotaging, don't do this. As soon as you cut ties with that, I'm just seeing something beautiful emerging for you. Like a really, really beautiful thing emerging for you. And it's going to be amazing. Like, this is, okay, Spirit's telling me to give you an example. And this is like a really, really, really basic example. And it's going to be way better than this, okay? Group 2. But this is a very basic example from my own life. So when I was 18, my first job out of high school, I was working at like a mainstream supermarket chain. And I literally lasted for like a month or something. And I hated it so much. And I couldn't do it. And I quit, even though my parents were like really mad at me. And my dad was like, you are not taking responsibility. You can't just quit something that you don't want to do. That's not how this world works. And all that kind of, authority. Like he was like, you're wrong. This is wrong. You're basically sabotaging your life. I'm not even kidding. The next day I got a new job. And it was a job in a florist, and I loved it, and it was much better. It was still came with its own things, but it was much better than that job that I hated and I couldn't show up at, and it gave me so much anxiety. My nervous system was not fit for a huge, really busy supermarket in the part of the city. It was so crazy. So basically, I trusted my intuition in that moment, and I quit the job, even though I did not have my approval from my family. I didn't have approval from anyone, and they were basically shaming me and being like, how could you do this? But I just knew in my heart I couldn't do it. I was like, no, I just can't. And basically, Spirit came through for me, and I just, boom, manifested. I manifested a great job that I liked, that I could do. That was way more in alignment with me. It was way quieter. I was working around flowers all day. I didn't have to talk to that many people. It was perfect. So basically, it's like this. It's like there's something here that there's all this pressure. There's all this pressure from the external world. Maybe there's shame, judgment, people trying to bring their authority down on you and be like, do not do this. But your heart, your intuition is telling you, do it. Just do it. Just let go. Just do it. Just go for it. And when you do that, when you listen, there's something going to be revealed to you. Like right there, it's waiting in the shadows. It's waiting to be revealed. Like a new job that's perfect for you, or a lot better at least, a step up. Or it's something even better. Like I'm seeing better than that, actually, because I feel like there's something about hidden treasures here, where something about this person or this dynamic that you're in, where your intuition is being outsourced to this other person, is really blocking your abundance. It's really blocking your abundance, and it's blocking you from seeing your path and your way forwards. And cutting ties or quitting or doing something to end this toxic connection that you have, or just telling your parents, I don't care what you think, I'm doing what's right for me. Boom, it's like you're activating your power. You're initiating into your power in such a strong way. And I see hidden treasures. For example, one time I had a situation where I had a really toxic friend, and basically it was really intense, but basically I became really, really drained by this person because they were very manipulative and not a good friend in the end. But I didn't realize that at the time. So right after I stopped being friends with them and I made the decision, because we had a fight, there was a reason. Anyway, I'm not going to get into it, but basically right after I cut them off, I had this idea for this new project. And it was like this new project was being held back by this person's energy, because I was so drained by them all the time. I had such low energy. I felt really depressed in this friendship, and I was so miserable. And as soon as I cut them off, it's like, boom, my life force came back. All of the energy that they were harvesting from me was returned to me, in this justice and this divine justice. And then I had this idea, this download for this new part of my path, and for this new project that, was very, very lucrative and could bring me a lot of money. And it was like all of that was being held by this dynamic, this toxic dynamic where they were a very sort of controlling, manipulative kind of person. They had a lot of power over me. It was just like the dynamic I had with my mom growing up. So it was it was basically a cookie cutter mold of my mom. So once I freed myself, it was instant. It was literally the next day. It wasn't in a week or a month no, it was the next day. And I couldn't see it before. I couldn't see it before because of their energy, because of the way that I was handing my power over to this person. So these things can really easily slip in. And ultimately, there will be an element of the dynamics that you had with your parents in some way, like in this situation you're in. Even if this person is represented as a boss or a friend or a therapist even, there's something about them that they're trying to take away your free will, and that's not right. That's not ethical. That's not okay in any way, in any form. We always have free will. We always need to treat others with freedom. It's really, really important. And this person's not doing that. They're trying to tell you what to do. They're trying to tell you, no, just listen to what I'm saying. Just listen to me. Trust me. You don't know what you're talking about. You don't know what you're thinking. And you actually do know what you're talking about. And you do know what you're thinking, and you're way more spot on for your life than they are. And this is why in my description box, I've actually, some of you might have noticed, I always have this disclaimer that says, this video is for entertainment purposes only. You are the expert of your own life. You are the expert of your own life. You are, not anyone else, but you. You are the expert. So anyone who comes in and tries to be like, you know what, I'm the expert for you. I'm the expert on your life. I know what's best for you. You're just doing this. You're weak. You're self-sabotaging, whatever, trying to get inside your head to make you doubt yourself. They're the problem. 110% of the time, they are the problem, not you. So there's something here about freeing yourself, group 2. You need to free yourself from like the toxic clutches of something, someone. I'm really feeling like it's a person. I'm feeling the person's energy coming through this card, and it's very domineering. It's very controlling. It's very authoritarian. It's very bullying. It's like a bully energy. And they're trying to get you to diminish your sense of power and diminish your sense of self so that you listen to them and you go along with what they think that you should be doing or what they think how you should be running your life. Yeah, it's not cool. It's not cool. All right, so what else do you want group 2 to know, Spirit? Protection, right next to this card. Exactly. You need to protect yourself from this person. This person is no good for you. It could be, even if it's your parents and you're like, well, I can't not have my parents in my life. Well, maybe that's true. Maybe it's not. But for now, you need to have boundaries. You need to protect yourself from this person. If you can't go full cutoff mode, although that's what I actually recommend because it takes back your power in the most fundamental way. It really brings all of your energy back to you because you are getting energy drained by this person, by this dynamic, because they've gotten inside your head and they've gotten to a wound within you. Just like I was saying about this friend of mine in the past, they really got inside my head. It reminded me a lot of this. They really got inside my head. They was very manipulative. They were very controlling, very authoritarian, and were always trying to get me to do what they thought was right for me, even though I'm like literally an intuitive for a job. And I was like, how did I get myself into this situation where I'm literally the most intuitive person that I know, and I still somehow managed to outsource my power to this person? And it's because of my wounding to do with my mom, right? It's textbook. It's textbook what I went through as a child. So it's like, well, of course, it finds its way to creep back in until I've fully healed it. But I'm getting there. Anyway, you need to protect yourself from this person because they are harvesting your energy and they're making you feel miserable. If you can, cut off from them. If you can't, have really strong and secure boundaries with them because you need to protect yourself. See how there's a child on this card? There's actually 2 children and a mother. You need to protect your inner child because your inner child is the part that's really vulnerable. It's like you have this inner adult that's like, hey, I know what I can do for my life. But then they have gotten and they've talked to your inner child. That's what I'm seeing. It's like they've gotten inside your inner child's head. And this, again, is set up for you. It was set up for you in childhood somehow, where like one of your parents was really authoritarian. One or both of your parents was really authoritarian and were like, hey, I know what's right for you. You're not making your own decisions in life. You're going to follow what I say. And it's gotten to you because it's a wound that already exists within you. This could be a boss. This could be someone who genuinely has some kind of authority over you, like a landlord or something like this, but they've really gotten inside your head. Maybe it's a landlord who's trying not to get you to move. They're like, you can't do it. No. It's like, yes, you can. You are free. You can do whatever you need to do, group 2. And that's the illusion, is thinking that you can't. And I just see you waking up from this illusion and realizing like, wait, I have the power. You protect yourself from this person having authority over you, and you realize like, wait a minute, I have the power and I always have. It's always been there. And as soon as you make that decision, you cut ties, you put a boundary up, your power will come back to you. Your money will come back to you. Like, I'm even seeing this person draining your finances because they're draining your sense of personal power. They're draining your life force so that you can't create the things that you're here to create. They might not even have to have been in your life for very long, but this person is very, very toxic and it's not a good idea to be around them. You really need to start looking at this and really looking and being like, wait, yeah, actually, this person isn't such a good influence on me, because I feel like they're telling you like, you need me in your life. You need me. That's what this friend of mine used to do. They would be like, you need me. And I would be like, yeah, I need you. And actually it was the opposite. I needed to get rid of them. And then my life literally improved. I started making money again instantly. I had this download for this huge project instantly. It was like, oh, wait a minute. Okay. My life force was being taken away. My depression lifted instantly. Like, I'm not even kidding. It was like so crazy to me. I couldn't believe how bad it was. I couldn't believe how night and day it was when I cut them off. It was incredible. So let's see. Let's get you another card on this side. Oh, we have 2. Health and achievement. Look at that. They're blocking you from your health and your achievement. This is your life force, your sense of health, your mental health, your emotional health. And you are more than capable of achieving whatever it is that you want to achieve in your life. You do not have to listen to them and let them have authority over your intuition. You have authority over your intuition. So I'm just seeing the boundaries that need to be set with this person. Set them. Your third eye, your intuition will come back. You'll start to see everything. And it's like this person distorted your view so that it was inverted. So that what you were seeing was the opposite of what was really happening, where they were saying, hey, if you don't listen to me, you're self-sabotaging, when really listening to them was self-sabotage. Okay. It's like that. It's like a mind, mess, a mess of the mind. So you're going to see things clearly again. You're going to realize your power. You've always had this power within you. You've always had the power to achieve what it is that you want to achieve, to have the health, to have the wealth, to have the career that you are wanting. And I think that having this boundary or this cutoff or seeing this person clearly for who they are, for the manipulator that they are, is going to totally set you free to have a totally different experience of life, and really fast as well. It doesn't have to come back to you really slowly. It's going to come back to you instantly. Maybe even just already you're feeling your energy rising as you're listening to this reading. And do you know why as well? It's because when we are in relationship dynamics and entanglements with a manipulative person, we have a lot of suppressed anger. There's a lot of suppressed anger because actually our subconscious, like I said, our subconscious knows what's true. Our subconscious always knows what's true. But because of wounding from childhood and things like this, sometimes we can fall into the patterns with these people and we can end up handing our power over without realizing it. But all during that time that you have been in relationship calls with this person, you are angry at them. You are angry that they have been trying to violate you and violate your boundaries. And that is not okay with you. And that is a good thing. So sometimes we need to get angry because it helps us to set the boundaries and to make the changes that we need to in our life. And that's kind of the energy I'm getting from this tiger here in this card. It's like, get angry, group 2, because the way this person's been treating you is not okay. And seeing that it's not okay is one of the biggest steps you can have towards health and achievement and wealth, and your finances improving and your career improving and you coming more into alignment with a new job or a new profession, or whatever it is that you are wanting and desiring at this time, a new expression of your work. For some reason, I feel like they have told you that they are going to help you. They're like, you need me. I'm going to help you. I'm going to make sure that you achieve what you want, or you're not healthy without me, or something like this. And it's actually the opposite. And they had to do that because it's a way of distracting you from the truth. It's kind of like they're pointing the finger out there and saying, hey, this thing's a problem in your life, when actually the whole time it was them. They're very, 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 very good at manipulating, and it happens very effortlessly for them. Like some people, they are really here to do that, and it helps us to grow in our path. It does. It helps us to learn about discernment and intuition, which is the greatest gifts that we have. Our intuition is the greatest gift that we have available to us. Restlessness, exactly. You actually aren't satisfied in this connection, or whoever this represents to you, this dynamic where your parents have control over you, or this friend or this boss, something like this. You are restless. You actually know that it's not right. It's time to listen to yourself, because the more that you start to listen to yourself, the more your discernment is going to start to take over. And I'm literally seeing this person tried to turn your world upside down. They tried to tell you that up was down and down was up. And you believed them for a while. And now it's time to come back to reality and be like, wait a minute. Wait a minute. That was wrong. They were wrong and I was right. And actually up is up and down is down, and everything's going to come back into alignment again. Wow, it's really important. Look at that. We have back of the deck is independence. You need to get independence from this person. They are taking away your energy. It's really as simple as that. They are taking away your energy. They are sapping your life force, and they are blocking your abundance from coming in. They might even be trying to talk you out of a really positive decision that would actually help change your life. Just like how back in the day when I was 18, my dad tried to shame me out of, bless him, but he tried to shame me out of making the decision to quit the job that I hated. at that supermarket. And then I just did it anyway. I was kind of rebellious. I defied the order from authority, and I was like, whatever, I'm not doing it. And then boom, the new job came in like that. But it's sort of like you might be waiting. I'm kind of seeing, I don't even know if you're waiting, because I feel like you're in a state of confusion, actually. Because I was going to say, maybe you're waiting for the new job before you quit the old job, but I don't even think it's like that. I think you're really confused because of this hold that this person's had on you. You're really confused, and you're like, oh my God, I'd be doing the wrong thing. Like, for example, imagine if I'd listened to my dad when I was 18. It seems like such a trivial example now, but it's kind of the perfect example. And Spirit was working with me even then to get me to trust my intuition, right? So it's like, imagine if I'd listened to my dad when I was 18 and stayed working at that job that I literally couldn't handle and I hated. Like, that would have been way more self-sabotaging. But it's sort of like, if I'd listened to the shame and all the shame stories, then maybe I would have been like, oh, I'm self-sabotaging if I quit this job. Like, I should just be able to do it. Why can't I do it? I'm not good enough. And all this kind of like low self-esteem bullshit. If I'd done that, I would have actually ended up manifesting like probably something really bad to do with my health. Something would have come in to kind of like force me into an awakening. Versus what I did, I was like, whatever, I'm an independent sovereign soul. I can do what I want. I was rebellious enough to just be like, nah, I'm not listening to you. I'm just doing it. And I did it. And then boom, I had the payoff immediately. So there's something here about like listening to yourself, being rebellious, being independent, going against someone else's authority. It might be a parent, it might be a boss, it might be a friend. Realizing that they are actually a toxic influence on your life, and someone who doesn't want you to be independent from them, who wants you to filter all your life decisions through them, that's toxic. That's messed up. That's not okay. Like, we should feel so free in our relationships. We should. That's how we're meant to feel. We're meant to feel free, you know? It's meant to feel really good. You might not even realize how much of a toxic influence that this person has been on you and how much you need to protect yourself from it until you do have a boundary and you cut them off. Like I said with my friend, when I cut them off, it was like literally the next day I had all this money come in when I was so broke, when I was friends with them. I wasn't friends with them for that long, but anyway, I was so broke. All of a sudden, the next day I had money come in, I had the download for a new project, and my depression lifted. It was literally the next day. I could not believe it. Spirit showed me so much proof like of how toxic that dynamic was that I was in. And it totally took my power back because I was really manipulated by this person. So you might not know fully until you take the action. And then it's like, whoa, is Spirit going to prove it to you? My goodness me. I really feel this thing though as well of like, you might need to get angry a little bit, group 2, because I feel like your anger has been really clouded under this sense of confusion and you've been blaming yourself for a lot of things. This person might even been in your head saying, yeah, this is why you're not making money, or this is why you're not good at your job, or this is why you haven't progressed in your career. It's because of you, it's because of you, it's because of you. And it's like, there's something about your dynamic with this person that's been really, really messing with you. You really need to protect yourself from it, and you're going to reclaim your health and your sense of achievement in your career when you do that. It's going to free you up. It's going to free up so much life force again. So let's see what you have coming in for you in the next 6 months as you make this change to cut this person off, to have the boundaries that you need to have so you can reclaim your power. Let's see. No way. Look at that. Magic, coincidence, and synchronistic events. Back of the deck, we have deception and wisdom. That's right. When you see through the deception, you gain the wisdom from the experience. Wow. I really feel the anger. There's anger that needs to come out for you, group 2. And that's a positive thing, because getting angry at someone who's been this manipulative and this much trying to take away your power and trying to tell you what to do, like in a way that isn't honoring of your freedom and your free will. Yeah, that's something you need to protect yourself from. That's not something you just go along with and be like, yeah, well, they know what's best for me. And no, they don't. You know what's best for you. You are the expert on your own life. And you have to reclaim your own power, your own sense of sovereignty, so that you can manifest in your career in the next 6 months. The money and all this stuff can come in for you with so much ease, like magic, coincidence, and synchronistic events. Like, it will feel like magic. Remember the example I gave when I was 18? We're going there again. The job came in within, like, I think it might have even been the next day, because I remember I was really like, you know, my family was shocked. They were like, how did you do that? What? And they were so shocked. They were like speechless. They were floored. And I was like, I did magic. They were like they were so surprised. And it was great because it cut off their ability to keep shaming me for my decision. Because they were like, I can't believe you would do that. You're not responsible. You're rah, 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 rah. And then it was like, boom, in your face. So this is the kind of energy, it's kind of like a little bit, you might think it's a bit immature, but it's actually balanced. Like you need to get back this sense of like, I'm going against you. I'm rebelling because it's true, because it's going to create it's going to create the magic that you're looking for. It's going to let the magic come in. You're going to reclaim your power. Be like in your face. There's something about it that's coming through like that. It's kind of fun. So let's see what else we're at. Movement. Look, restlessness and movement. You need to move away from this person. Then the restlessness is your body telling you this is not good. You might feel anxious around this person. There's some kind of anxiety that's been coming up. And again, you're taking responsibility for it. You're like, oh, well, it's just me. It's my fault. I'm just anxious because of my stuff. It's like, no, you're anxious because of this person trying to have authority over you, which literally makes you feel unsafe in your physical body. How can you feel safe if someone's trying to tell you what to do all the time? That doesn't feel safe. Look, creative projects. You might have the download for a creative project right after you cut this person off. You might have the vision. You might have all the creative energy that you need for a project that you're working on, for an album you're creating, for your music, something like this. It's like, boom, it's all going to come back to you because you're choosing to free yourself. I think you've been ready for a long time. Just split the deck and we got the Queen. Woman, fertility, feminine power, sexuality, friendships. Could be a friend because I kept saying friend, right? Could be a woman. Could be a boss, could be a man though, because we got the Emperor as well. But there's someone who have a lot of authority over you, or you feel like they do, or they're calling the shots in some way, or they're trying to manipulate your mind. And it's like you've known this for a long time at a subconscious level. Like there's some kind of resonance as I'm talking about this, where you're like, yeah, you know what? Actually, And Spirit's saying it's time to move on. It's time to create change. It's time to change. The Movement card makes me think of change. It's time to change. It's time to set a boundary. It's time to show up differently. It's time to start challenging them, questioning them. And you also might see their true self as you start to challenge them, as you start to be like, you know what? I don't agree with you. Actually, I don't agree. Or you start to go against what they're telling you. And that's what happened with that friend of mine. I challenged them and then I saw their true self. The mask was revealed. Like they took the mask off and their true self was revealed. And I was like, whoa, this is who you've always been. I had no idea. And then I realized it. And then all this stuff unraveled and then boom, I took my power back. I just got the craziest deja vu just then. Whoa, really cool. So yeah, it's about realizing your worth. I feel like the Queen is about self-worth. It's like you are so worthy of such a better situation and connection that you are having with this person or the way you're being treated. And even if it's your parents, for example, it's like they don't necessarily know what is best for you, okay? They do not necessarily know what you are capable of creating. Just like my dad, who was like, don't you dare quit your job. And then I did it and then I created what he thought was like magic. He was like, how did you do that? What? That's impossible. And I was like, not impossible for me. And that's the thing. You are capable of so much more than what this person is telling you, what this person is trying to put into your head of like who you are, what you're capable of, or, they're trying to really diminish your sense of worth so that they have power over you. They're trying to diminish your sense of self-worth so that they have power over you. And if you were standing there in your full sense of self-worth, they would have no way to come in. They would have no way to connect with you because they can only connect with people through having authority over them and manipulating them. And as you heal, you will become less and less of a vibrational match to these sorts of people in your life, and they will not be able to repeat and have a relationship with you anymore. Okay, group number 2. Really consider this. Really let it sink in. Really trust in what your intuition is telling you and really start putting it to the test, okay? In whatever way that is, challenging them, being rebellious, saying no, putting up boundaries, cutting someone off, and you will be shown. The universe will give you definitive proof where you will no longer be confused about what was going on, and you will be 100% certain. You'll be like, wow, I can't believe that I let this go on for so long. That's what you're going to think. You're going to be like, I can't believe that I let this person try to take away my power. That's what you're going to be left with. You're not going to be left with like, oh, maybe it was me. Maybe I did the wrong thing. No, you're going to realize you were the one that had the intuition the whole time, and you're going to gain a hugely valuable lesson from this and also move into a way more sense of power with your health, with your magic, like creating magic, synchronistic events, like coincidences, synchronistic events to do with your career, to do with making money, opportunities coming back to you, all of this stuff. So good luck. I'm sending you so much love on your path. And if you would like to check out more of my work, please see all the links in the description box below. Actually, I have a cord cutting meditation. It's like a guided meditation with light language for cord cutting. It's really powerful and potent. And especially if you have any kind of emotions around letting this person go or setting up boundaries with the person, I would really recommend it. It's really going to help you clear your aura, and even the sacred space clearing as well. If you don't already have that tape, really important to keep your energy protected and cleared when you're around manipulators like this. All right, sending love. Hello Group 3. So you chose number 3, the solar plexus chakra. Nice little synchronicity. And I just realized Group 1 was also chakra 1. Interesting. So have you ever had a dream, Group 3, where your teeth fall out or you lose a tooth or something? Because that's the energy I'm getting for your group. I know this is like really bizarre, but that's what I'm getting. It's like something to do with your teeth. So whenever I have those dreams, I realize I did a lot of meditation about it, and I realized that it's basically about when you have these changes within your core beliefs about yourself. The teeth kind of represent our core beliefs, like our deepest set beliefs. And when we have dreams about them, like falling out or changing in some way, or having pain, or you might have been having issues with your teeth in some way, this is actually a good sign. It represents that your core beliefs are starting to fall away or shift or be sort of changed. So you're going through like something quite intense right now. I'm seeing a lot of change for you in the next 6 months to do with your career and finances, and it's because you're changing your core beliefs about yourself and therefore kind of what you will put up with in the world. The solar plexus chakra, I'm kind of getting the energy from it today because there's sort of classically it's more associated with fear, but from it today I'm getting more about anger, and I'm getting a lot to do with repressed anger. Like anger that's been repressed inside of you, kind of coming to the light in a positive way because it's helping to create change. So one of the most beautiful things about anger as a frequency and like as one of our emotions, the positive kind of gift that anger brings us is that it allows us to make change in our life. It allows us to take action in ways that we might have previously been too afraid to take action with. So there's something about you might have previously been too afraid to take action in a certain way. Yeah, you might have been really like suppressing or holding yourself back in some way, and you weren't feeling confident enough to take action to do something to do with your career or money. And that is changing in the next 6 months, where you are actually going to be taking action and doing it. And the reason is because I'm seeing this sacred rage. It's like a sacred rage. It's the gift of anger that's coming through. It's like a gift. Anger is giving you a gift. It's giving you a gift because it's helping you to stop allowing yourself to be treated poorly. It's allowing you to stop, like to put an end to ways in which you were holding yourself back. You were dimming your light. You were suppressing your power, suppressing your voice or your truth in some way. And it's like almost like you can't do it to yourself anymore. And you're feeling angry at anyone who would want you to do that. So it might be shaking up relationships where any kind of relationships built on you dimming your light or not standing in your power, you're not going to be a vibrational match to those people anymore. You're going to be like, no way, I'm not doing that anymore. That's not who I am anymore. So it feels really positive, but it might also bring, like I'm seeing a lot of change for you, like a lot of change, and it could be quite fast, or it could be something a little bit shocking as well in the change. Like, and maybe it's shocking other people where they just wanted you to be a certain way. It's kind of giving me the energy of, you know how it's this classic thing where parents, I don't know why people do this, but anyway, I'll try to leave my judgment out of it, but where parents try to get their kid to do to do a career that they want their kid to do with it, instead of just telling their child to like do what will make them happy, and whatever their soul kind of guides them to do is perfect for them. It's like, no, you have to follow in the family business, or you have to be a doctor or a lawyer, or whatever kind of cliche it is. And then it's sort of this energy of that kid growing up and following in what their parents want them because they're too afraid, right? They're too afraid of not getting the love and approval from their parents. And then one day waking up in their lawyer job, realizing they're absolutely miserable. And if they don't change right now, that they're going to live the rest of their life in regret for not doing what they really came here to do. And so then they get angry. And they start having sacred rage where they're like, you know what? I will not stand for this any longer. I will not do this to myself any longer. I will not suppress myself and force my will into the will of somebody else. And they get angry about it, and they change, and they leave that profession, and they start to do what they've come into this earth to do. Maybe they really wanted to be a musician, or I don't know, a concert pianist, I just heard. And it's like, for whatever reason, they weren't able to do that. They're, something like this. They were really being held back by these expectations from the world, from family, and they take back that power, and they come into alignment. And the anger that they feel is actually the thing that helps them overcome the fear. They were completely paralyzed by fear, which is why they were complying with the will of someone else. Then they get angry enough to change. They get angry enough to come back into alignment. And this is why I'm telling you that anger can be a beautiful emotion. It can be a beautiful, positive gift, because anger gives us the gift of action. We take action. This came through in one of my channelings for Terra Nova. And ever since then, I've been like, wow, that's so true. It's like anger can actually be such a beautiful gift in our life. It does not have to be something that's only causing destruction and all this stuff, because I'm seeing in your life, group 3, something needs to be destroyed. I'm getting the energy of the Tower card now. It's like something needs to fall down so that something new can be built. And it's a positive thing. And you need to get angry about it and get angry about the conditions in which you might be giving your power away or feeling powerless or voiceless, or like suppressing your rage and just going along with it and just trying to like keep sweet or whatever it might be. There's something really, really repressive and oppressive about this. It could even be in like, I'm kind of getting the same energy as like someone who's really raised in like a really, really strict religion as well. And it's like they really are really controlled by fear, but then they need to get angry about that and free themselves and realize that they have their own path in life. There's something here about family legacy as well. It's actually come through in several of the groups, kind of all 3, but anyway. There's something here about family legacy. Like there's something maybe you didn't realize that you were doing things to get approval from your family, from the world around you. You wanted to get approval, and maybe it's about coming out of the spiritual closet, and then in doing that you lose the approval from others. You lose the approval from people who just want you to like work at a normal job that they understand, and that they're like, yeah, well, this is good, and then you suddenly become all spiritual and woo-woo, and then they're like, no, this is bad. It's something really, really like sort of black and white like that. But it's sort of, I see you getting angry and realizing you don't want their approval anyway, because if they knew the true you, they wouldn't approve anyway. So why even bother trying to get their approval through some kind of false sense of self, through like suppressing and oppressing yourself? So I know this is really intense, but basically what I'm seeing is like core beliefs within you are changing, and kind of like any core beliefs that was allowing this to take place, like, oh, I'm not good enough, or I'm not lovable as I am, that kind of thing. Actually, I feel like it's not lovable as you are. It's like a feeling of not being lovable, and you're realizing that you are lovable and that you love yourself like so much, and that's giving you enough of this courage and confidence to, like, this love you have for yourself is opening your heart, and it's giving you courage and confidence to get in touch with this anger that you have around how much you've been suppressing what it is that you truly desire, what it is that you truly want to do. And you're realizing as well that the price you've been paying for maybe getting people's approval, whether it's family or culture, or, the approval you get from being a lawyer or a doctor versus being a tarot reader from the society, right? It's like, it's a different level of approval that you get from the matrix. It's like, I think you're realizing that approval doesn't mean that much to you if it's not authentically you. So there's something about you really integrating your authenticity into your job, into your career, into your life, into your livelihood, and really stepping up in a certain way into your sense of self and your sense of authenticity. And like with the solar energy, right, you're shining your light in the world. Like, you are meant to be seen in some way. I really see this sense of like you stepping out from behind the shadows, and you're like, this is me. And you're not caring anymore if people like it, they don't like it, they love it, they hate it, whatever, because it just is you. So there's some really powerful energy here where you're like standing in your power, and it's going to like propel you forwards, like in a really major way. You might have to let go of a career or some kind of a business or something that might have been built on a false foundation. It might have been built on a sense of people pleasing or trying to be someone that you're not in some kind of way. You might only just be awakening to this recently with the light energy in this card. It's like the light is coming in, you're realizing things. You're like, you know what? I wasn't really being true to myself this whole time, or I really built this based on this energy, but actually I don't want that anymore. A tower is going to fall, okay? In the next 6 months, a tower will fall. It's actually, I think, for some of you, going to happen quite soon, or it's already happening, where you're having this awareness maybe. For some of you, it's like you're having awareness and you're realizing, wait a minute, I'm not happy. I'm not happy at this job. I'm not happy here. I'm not happy in this career. I'm not fulfilled anymore. And it's because you've come to the end of a timeline and a new timeline is ready to be built. It's like the tower is falling, but it's because there wasn't a strong foundation to begin with. Whenever we have tower moments, it's because it's necessary for our growth and for our learning, because there was something about it that wasn't in alignment with the core truth of who we are. And so it's like, boom, it falls and something more authentic can be built from that place. So it's a gift, it's a gift. But I really don't actually see you being that afraid. I really think you've lived in fear for so long that now when it's happening, you're not actually afraid anymore. You're actually just like angry, but in a positive way. Like it's like sacred rage. You're mad. You're mad that the world would even teach a child to hide their authentic self. You're like, how dare they do that? I am lovable as I am. It's really powerful. And I think you're going to be like a strong influence for others as well. Like people feeling like they can't be their authentic self, and then you shining and being your authentic self that gives other people permission to shine. Oh my gosh, now we're getting deep. Okay, I've got to read out a quote. I've got to read out a quote for you. Okay, so as I'm talking, this quote is coming into my mind, and I have to read it to you because it feels kind of perfect for your reading, for all the things I'm picking up in your reading. And this quote has helped me so much at different times in my life, so I want to share it with you. It's by Marianne Williamson from her book, A Return to Love, which I read in like 2018 or something. Okay, our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, fabulous? Actually, who are you not to be? You are a child of God. Your playing small does not serve the world. There is nothing enlightened about shrinking so that other people won't feel insecure around you. We are all meant to shine as children do. We were born to make manifest the glory of God that is within us. It is not just in some of us, it's in everyone. And as we let our own light shine, we unconsciously give other people permission to do the same. As we are liberated from our own fear, our presence automatically liberates others. So you are liberating yourself from your own fear. And see how there was like children mentioned in that quote as well? Like this feels really like your inner child energy. Like somewhere along the lines, your inner child got the message that they had to dim their light to survive. They had to be someone else in order to be loved. They had to be inauthentic in order to get the love and survival needs they needed. And you're healing that. You're realizing like that you don't want to do that anymore. There is nothing enlightened about shrinking yourself, about dimming your light. You're realizing like, wait, I want to shine. I want to be free. I want to shine my light. I want to be loved. I want to share love. And in doing that and in standing in your authentic power, you are going to heal the world, group 3. Like you are going to revolutionize the freaking entire globe with this energy that you are going to hold. This is why I'm feeling this kind of like sacred rage, because it feels so powerful. Like in superhero movies where they like get angry, like the superhero, like the good person, they get angry and they're like, rah, and they kind of like bring all this power up from inside of them and they like defeat the bad guy. That's the energy I'm getting. It's like a warrior energy. It's super badass. It's really cool because it's like you're getting angry and you're bringing all this power up from inside of yourself and you're like, and you're like claiming back your power from where it was taken from you. And it's amazing. Like it's so, so special. And people are going to take notice. Like they will notice you. They are going to be like, whoa, this person is divine. This person is so inspirational to me. And yes, some people might not like you, but that's also just life. Like we can't hold out for universal approval because that's not how this realm works. We're in duality. And being a high consciousness being that you are, there will be people who do not understand you. There will be people who are at a different level of consciousness and they therefore cannot understand you. They cannot perceive of you as you are standing in truth, as you are speaking truth, as you are sharing truth. They will not understand, but that's okay. I think that you're really letting go of like needing the approval from others to feel safe and realizing you can make yourself feel safe, because the safest we feel is when we are authentic. Because when we are authentic, we also attract in the people, places, and things that are the perfect match for us. And I feel like you've had this low level feeling of fear and unsafety because you haven't been being your true authentic self in the world. And when you operate from this inauthentic place, it means that the people, places, and things that we attract in can't be a full vibrational match to us. Like you might have unfulfilling relationships or feel like a low grade unsafety in your workplace. And it's because you're not shining your true light. But when you do and you start to have recognition from people and love from people where they're like, oh my God, I love you. Oh my God, you're amazing. I so resonate with you. I resonate with your work. I resonate with your voice. I resonate with your writing. I resonate with your music, your art. When you create from the purest place within you, it's like it doesn't matter to you anymore that people don't understand it or people don't all resonate with you, because the people that do it feel so nourishing and it feels so fulfilling and it makes you feel like you have a spot in this world, like a place. Like you're like, oh my God, I make sense, because you do make sense. You make so much sense, group 3. You're amazing, okay? You are amazing. That is a fact. You are amazing, and that is a fact. So let's see, what else does Spirit want you to know? Look at this. We got the Sun energy again, the Oracle of the Radiant Sun. We had some cards falling. Okay, what do you want Group 3 to know about their career? You're stepping out into the light. Look at that drama. Yes, this is like the energy of, like, look at this, rebellion. Exactly. It's like you're getting your power back. You're rebelling against patience. Exactly. Oh my God. I keep saying things. Okay. It's been a long time it's been a long time in the making. It's been a long time coming. And that's why as I'm feeling this rebellion energy, it's almost like an anger, a sacred rage where you're like, rah! And you're like defeating your fears and you're like, no more. I'm standing up. And look, this lion, you're shining. You're doing your lion's roar and you're being your authentic self. And this is like the world is a stage kind of energy. Like Mercury and Leo in the 5th house, it wants to shine. It wants to self-express. It wants to be dramatic and have that flair and be like the lead. Like I'm feeling like you're stepping into this leadership energy or this like main character energy. You're like going to be the star of the show. You're going to be the like lead singer of the band. Like there's something about the eyes being on you and this being appropriate for your soul's energy. But for whatever reason, you've been hiding in the shadows, or you've been thinking that you're not good enough, or you've been crippled by fear or judgment or something like this. And it's like you're rebelling against that. You're rebelling against that kind of core belief inside of you that was saying, oh, it's safer if I just dim my light. And you're like, no, it's not. Because doing that is cutting you off from a sense of fulfillment and also from a sense of abundance. Like you are going to create so much abundance from this energy because it's so magnetic and people are going to love you. And again, like the fear of the judgment, that's going to shrink so much the more that you honor this lion energy in you, this lioness energy where you're like, here I am, world, this is me. You're just shining and you're being yourself. We have devotion. Okay. We have enthusiasm. Okay. And we have riches. In a finance reading, are you serious? Look at that, independence on the back of the deck. There you go. Again, Spirit is saying individuate away from what other people will think of you. And Aquarius energy is quite rebellious as well. There's like a rebellion energy in here. Oh yeah, rebellion. There you go. Rebellion, independence. It's like this rebellion, this sacred rage is going to help you free yourself from these kinds of limiting beliefs that really you just inherited, I feel, from your childhood growing up. Like, it was perfect. It was all part of the divine plan, but you're really ready now to let it go and to step into this incredible version of yourself that is like not afraid to shine and that people just fall in love with you instantly. They're just like, oh my God, I love you. I instantly love you. They're going to be like, I waited my whole life for you. Seriously, I'm feeling, look, people being devoted to you. I was like, I wonder what this is going to mean. But now I see it's like, you are going to evoke so much devotion because you are doing it from such an authentic place. It's like you can't even let people love you if you aren't being authentic. Because even if people love the inauthentic version of you that you put out into the world, that won't feel fulfilling enough. It might bring up this fear of like, well, if people really knew me, then they wouldn't love me. You know, kind of like hiding in, you know, like I'm getting some sense of like hiding your true self in order to feel loved. But then in doing that, you feel not loved. You know, it's kind of like a catch-22. It's like you feel like you need to hide yourself to be loved, but then the love that you get doesn't feel like love because you're like, well, you don't love me for who I really am. If you did love me for who I really am, I would be rebelling against everything that you believe in and you would probably reject me. So it doesn't feel good anyway, you know? So there's something about like true devotion, like people being like, you are meant to be some kind of like spiritual person, or like your artwork or something creates devotion in people. People like follow you. They want to know about what you have to say. They want your wisdom. They want your light. They want you to help them to awaken themselves. And I just see you kicking off like with so much enthusiasm into this new version of yourself, this new version of how you show up in the world with your work, with your art, with the way that you are interacting with people. It's like you're really being confident and authentic, rebelling against things that you in the past were not able to rebel against. Create like having so much people devoted to you and to your work. And that bringing so much enthusiasm and life force in a way that you've not even had before because you haven't been this authentic before. The more authentic that you are, and it has to be organic. We can't force ourselves to be authentic. That's why patience is here as well. It's like, it's okay that it takes time. We are all on this journey. Like every single one of us is on the journey of authenticity because every single one of us has some kind of wounds around not feeling love for who we really are because where the earth's consciousness is at and all these kinds of complicated things. So it's like the more authentic that you are, the more life force you will have and the more abundance you will have. It is like an equation, it's seriously like a maths equation. It's like the more authenticity that you put out there into the world, the more authentic that you are, even if you think it's so crazy, it's so rebellious, people would hate me for what I have to say or what I think or the way that I live my life but it doesn't matter because the more authentic that you are, no matter how crazy you think that this is, no matter how much drama it stirs up, no matter how rebellious you are, the more authentic that you are, the more life force you will have, the more abundance you will have, the more money that will come to you. I'm talking money. Like you are able to be really rich, group 3, but the only way you can manifest this level of wealth is through your authentic self-expression. It's through your full authentic expression because you doing that is going to activate people. It's going to activate people so much. Like it's going to be so powerful for the world. People are going to be like instantly activated by your light. It's going to be like, boom, I'm activated. They read something you wrote, they read a book you wrote and they're like, boom, I'm activated. You're going to activate people like boom, 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 boom. It's going to be so powerful. And you're going to be like, whoa, this is what I want to devote my entire life to. It's like, you're going to be devoted to this path because it's your most authentic path and people will be devoted to you on your most authentic path. And you will have so much enthusiasm. You have so much life force. You'll have like endless energy for this path, for this work in the world, because you're not having to censor yourself. You're not holding yourself back. You're not dimming your light. You're not trying to make yourself more lovable than you really are. You're just being yourself and you're realizing how lovable you've always been just for yourself, just for who you are. You're already lovable enough, like more than enough. Okay, let's get some guidance cards for you for the next 6 months. Grounding, go deep and explore your roots. Yes, indeed. So there is energy here around maybe you really need to rebel specifically from your roots, from your ancestry, your karmic imprints, from your family of origin. Maybe like I gave that example at the beginning, like of parents who really have this expectation that their child will be a doctor or a lawyer and they don't want to do that. And then they really want to work in the spiritual realm or do something that's like really, I don't know, artistic or whatever. It's like there's something here about you need to rebel against the family. Rebel against them. They don't know what's good for you. They're actually playing a role that's helping you to come into your power, okay? They don't know what is right for you. You know what is right for you. It's really interesting because there's been this theme throughout all the groups. But for example, like in my description, okay? In my description for all my videos, it says, disclaimer, you are the expert of your own life. You are, not me, not your parents, not your boyfriend or your girlfriend or your best friend or anyone else. You are the expert of your own life, okay? It's time to start claiming that. It's time to start claiming that authority over your own life and rebelling against anyone who tells you that they should have authority over you, that they know what's right for you, because they don't. They 100% do not. And especially with family of origin, they will play a role. Right? They will play a role with you to help you to come more into your power and to listen more to your intuition by sometimes telling you the opposite of what you actually need to do. Like they'll be like, you know what? I disown you if you don't follow this path in your life. So then you follow this path because you want to be loved by your parents. But it's like, actually, that was a trick. They were playing that role to get you to follow your path, not the other way around. So, for some people, it's important as well to put up really strong boundaries with parents. Maybe even doing cutoffs, doing things that are important, whatever is going to help you to feel like you're rebelling enough and claiming back your power. It depends on how, what your personal situation is. Everyone's different. But yeah, if you resonated with group 2, that could also be relevant. Okay. So grounding. So go deep, explore your roots. Yeah, because you're coming out of that. You're rebelling against that. You're breaking free. Look, this card just fell. Breaking trail. A breakthrough is at hand. Exactly. You're breaking free. You're breaking free from, look at that, simplify your life, traveling lightly, simplify your life. You're breaking free from them trying to control your life. And it's like you're realizing that they actually didn't have any authority over you ever. But you need to rebel. rebelling against the core beliefs that were instilled from your roots. Go deep, explore your roots. You're clearing out these core beliefs and you're realizing you're lovable for who you are. And your life is going to change so much for this. Oh my God, look, I shuffled and it came out anyway. Traveling lightly, simplify your life. I feel like the answer is more simple than you realize. The truth is more simple than you realize. Grace and gratitude. Through gratitude, joy expands. Yes, you're going to be very grateful. You're going to be very grateful for yourself. Look, faraway places, get ready for new horizons. You might be having a massive change in your career. You might be realizing like, you know what? I need to change. I can't do this anymore. I need to change. I need to be real. I need to follow my heart, because otherwise you're just going to live every day in regret that you haven't done it. We only have one life where we get to be this version of ourselves, where we get to be this beautiful, lovable, perfect version of ourselves. Every other incarnation, we're exploring a different version. We're exploring a different expression. And we are infinite souls, and our soul is something that can never die. But this version of ourselves is kind of brief in a way, in the perspective of the, all of existence. And so we need to spend every moment loving ourselves fiercely. And it's okay if we're still growing into that. But I really see you doing this action to align your career with what it is you truly want to do is you loving yourself. It's you valuing yourself. And you're going to be so grateful that you did. And everyone around you is going to be so grateful that you did. So there might be things, traveling lightly could be things you need to cut off from. Expectations, actual people, actual career pathways where you're like, you know what? I'm not doing that to myself anymore. I'm not going to do that anymore. I'm changing. And you might be surprised as well at how you actually are supported by the universe to do this, okay? I think it's more simple than you think, because you might be like, well, there's this thing, and what about this complication, and what if this thing doesn't go right, and this? And Spirit's like, you know what? It's more simple than you think. It's going to be easier than you think, Group 3, to make this shift, because you're ready. It's time. This timeline that you've been on is coming to an end. You've been very patient with it. Well done. But you're at the breakthrough. A breakthrough is at hand. You're at the breakthrough point where it's like, boom, it's time to go. Let yourself get angry. Let yourself channel that into action, into change, into you shining your light and rebelling against those parts in you that are trying to tell you no, we're too afraid. We can't do it. We got to try and be loved in this inauthentic way. It's like, that is not love. Being love for an inauthentic version of yourself is not love. It's a falsehood. So the more authentic you are, the more life force you will have, the more money will come to you. Okay? It's like the most simple equation. It's like, be authentic. You will shine, you will thrive, you will have money. Be authentic. It might take some time to really figure out what is authentic to you, especially if you've lived a lot of your life for trying to pander to the needs of others. That's okay. But you're going to be so grateful that you did this work. And you're going to be so grateful that you chose to step back into your power and to step out there into the world stage, shining the truest version of you. And the whole world is going to be so grateful that you did it as well, Group 3. All right, I'm sending you so much love on your path. And please, if you would like to check out more of my work, see the links in the description box below. I have heaps of different light language tapes that could actually really help you on this path as you are growing, evolving. I have a cord cutting tape, which really could help you with the exploring your roots thing and clearing away the expectations of others. I have DNA activations that I would really recommend as well as you're changing and you're becoming the truest version of yourself. And the recent one that I did, actually the Lemuria one, it is the Awaken Your Ancient DNA. I really feel like that one actually would really help you, because it's about coming into the truest expression of your soul and realizing you have deep soul gifts that are ready to come forward and be shared with the world. All right, Group 3, sending you heaps of love. Take care.